How's it going, everybody? We're the Vermonter Brothers. I'm Satirius, and this is Daydreamer. As everybody knows by now, this past week we lost Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, we thought we'd share some thoughts we have because even though we didn't personally know him, we never even really met him, but for some reason we are really affected by this, and it's crazy to think. So before we get into it, we're just gonna talk about the whole parasocial relationship type of thing.
Right, yeah.
We don't consider ourselves terminally online, and we don't really follow celebrities and stuff like that.
hmm
So the idea of us being affected by the death of somebody we don't know
Personally, that
personally,
is,
it's just,
yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. So I somewhat get the whole parasocial relationships now from people, you know?
Well, it was surprising how much it affected us, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but
Yeah. And I
never
and
saw it coming.
I guess to expand on the whole parasocial relationships thing, when Megyn Kelly went live while everything was happening before we found
Oh,
out he
man,
actually
dude.
passed away, it was nice having Megyn Kelly there. And then Tim Pool also went live for a bit. It was nice having them there to, like, I don't know, it felt like
hmm
somebody was with us. So I am thankful for them. If for some reason
Yeah.
they see this, it was very hard. You cried on camera. I know that sucks, but it really did help. And if it helped me, I'm
hmm
sure it helped a bunch of other people too feel like they weren't alone. So that's
And sure. I mean, I didn't actually figure out about the whole situation until it was much later in the day.
right. You got through the
And,
whole,
and yeah, and so I was processing it kind of. I want to say on my own. I think it wasn't immediate. I had to process it first, and then I texted Daydreamer, and I was like, "What the heck?"
yeah.
And then kind of seeing their old live videos was like, "Oh crap! I don't even know if I would have been able to watch any of this without shedding a tear."
You know what was
To
interesting?
be
You
honest.
you texted because that Wednesday we were supposed to go for a run later, but it was somebody's
hmm
birthday or something, so
Yeah.
it was canceled. So you texted and you canceled, and it was like
hmm
1 p.m. And by that time, I think I don't know if he was shot or if he was already pronounced dead. But I didn't even. I wasn't even. I did. I was like, do I tell him or do I not? Like, this is. I don't know, because you're at work. There's not much you could do, right? And I know you actually
Yeah.
work and you're busy throughout the
hmm
day. So, anyways,
If honestly, if I had figured out in the middle of the day like that, the rest of the day would have just been me like lost in my thoughts.
right. I
Yeah,
don't,
I would have been very much distracted.
see. I didn't think you would because I just because I didn't think I was either. I didn't think
Yeah.
death is sad and stuff, but when you don't know somebody personally, it's I
Yeah.
don't. Again, we get back to the whole parasocial thing of like we don't really
hmm
create those kind of relationships. We don't follow celebrities like this, so it. But when it affected me, I was like, "Well, this is weird." Anyways,
Yeah.
um, we wanted to move
But
on.
it,
We both prepared our own statements because we want to make sure we get these words right
right, right.
on why we think it was so impactful for us personally.
Yeah.
Because it does differ between the both of us. We do
It
have
is.
something why we think it was impactful for other people. So this is why we think it was impactful for other people.
hmm
He was the voice for many that were too afraid to speak the truth, and probably why many people, and that's probably why many people,
Yeah.
especially young
Yeah.
folks, gravitated towards him. But that wasn't really why. When we did introspection, so we sat down and we just started thinking about why it affected us. And do you want to go first, or you go first?
Yeah. So before I go first, I want to add a little bit of context.
Okay.
So I figured out the situation late. I was already home. I was playing with my goddaughter, and my mom walks up and asked me if I heard the news. I was like, "What news?" She said Charlie Kirk got shot. So my initial reaction was like, "Oh crap!" Like I didn't have any emotions at first because, to her understanding, he was okay.
There was
So
a
I was like, "Okay,
report early on that he was stable. I
stable,
remember.
right? Yeah."
Yeah, there was.
And that was the last thing she remembered. So I continue on with the evening, thinking like, "Oh crap, he's gonna recover from this. This sucks. I'm kind of numb to this whole shooter thing,
Right.
unfortunately." And then my dad comes home and he asked me, "Hey, did you hear about the news?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, mom told me. Charlie Kirk got shot. Mom said he was stable or okay." He's like, "No, he died."
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I heard that, my stomach like, legitimately sunk. And I was like, "What the heck?" And so for the rest of the evening, I was just very somber.
Yeah.
I and I had no idea why. Like it was really affecting me to a weird level I never expected to
Right.
because I don't know the guy, right?
Same.
And so you and I started conversing about it a little bit later as to why is this bugging us so much
The next
on
day,
a
right?
person we didn't know personally. Yeah, the next day. And so in the event of trying to create this video, we were trying to figure this portion out, and we actually took more time to actually dive into why this bugged us, right?
Right.
And so again, so here's my statement or as to why I think it bugged me. Charlie Kirk was an inspiration. He embodied a man that I tried to resemble, strong and confident with his beliefs. We're both men of God, though he was far more courageous with his faith than myself. Outside of his influential public life, he seemed to be a normal guy who led the life of a husband and a father. To lose a man who embodied these characteristics hurts because it was not fair to him, his family, and those who truly knew him. He was simply speaking his mind for what he believed was true and right. I wasn't well versed with Charlie, but his death hit me hard, harder than expected, and I think it's because of the type of person he was. From many accounts and what I could observe, he was a good man.
Yeah, he didn't really deserve it.
He didn't deserve it. Yeah.
And so again, Satiris and I talked about this. I didn't know he was a father. I didn't know he was a husband. So I didn't have that. That wasn't why I was so impacted. But here's why I think it really impacted me a lot. It's similar to Satiris's reason, but from all the stuff that I saw online that he would post, and typically when you post things online, like it does sometimes bring out kind of the worst in people because it's just so contentious, you know? But even with all of that, he did still seem like a good man. Every now and then he'd say some cheeky response to somebody. Maybe he didn't have to say that, right? But that doesn't mean he was. All. Yeah, exactly. We all do that. It's not exclusive to him.
Yeah.
For the most part, he tried to do what he thought was good, and he was fearless in presenting ideas, even when he knew that those ideas were unpopular. Right? He figured out what he believed and whether or not it was right for him to believe those things, and then defended them and he defended them very well.
Yes, he did.
All he did was just share what he believed, and his intentions were to converse with people and change minds with words and logic, and he tried his best to do it respectfully. Again, it wasn't always respectful, but man, did he try.
Yeah, he did. And again, he just embodied just a normal human being outside of this, right?
Yeah.
Or even in the midst of all of this. He was still very much a normal human being, and that's kind of the unfair part about this whole situation.
He really just did not deserve it. Like, there's nothing. I mean, nobody deserves this, right? But I don't know, man. I just think about what I knew of Charlie, and why? That makes no sense to me. It's sad that somebody gets to that point, and it's sad that we've created an environment has been created to where somebody can get to that point. That's just so
exactly. Exactly. And it's kind of hard to think where we've cultivated this and how we've done it, and is it that difficult to bring it back?
I do think it's very hard.
Yeah. So you had your initial thoughts, and after you let them, I guess, what were your thoughts after you let it sink in for a couple of days?
Yeah. So after the dust settled, and this is again where we differ a little bit, because all it did was make me mad afterwards. So after I was like, why am I so sad about this? The next feeling I was like, I'm pissed. I feel so angry because Charlie Kirk got shot and died, and he's out there expressing his views fearlessly. And then you and I, we make videos here on, as well on YouTube, and we'll sometimes discuss things, and we will say, that's a little bit controversial. I don't know if I want to say that. Not because we don't believe it, but because we're scared of the backlash that we might get. And it's not always for ourselves. I do think we have the resources. If for whatever reason we were attacked and we needed to go somewhere because, people were doxing our house or whatever, me and you have the money and resources to get away. But we don't have enough to take our family and protect everybody we care about as well.
Right.
That's the scarier part.
Yeah. I guess my initial thoughts when I first got it and it settled in, like I started to think deeper on what we do, you and I.
Right.
And I honestly got a little bit concerned and scared, right? I think Tim Pool kind of had a similar reaction to it. But I only shared this with you as like, oh crap, though we're not huge, I recognize that we are also in this world, and we can also cultivate a group of people who disagree with us and may want to take it to the point of hurting not only us, but the people we care about.
Right.
So my initial thought was a little bit of fear because somebody actually went the distance. They actually did it. Based purely off of belief, they took a person's life. Yeah. And that's where I got concerned. And then immediately, like not too long after that, I did get angry. Like I was like, heck no, I'm not going to cap to this. I'm not going to cave to this. I'm not going to let them win. Like we're reinvigorated. Like I found a new fire within me to push even harder,
The fear is interesting because I understand it. I'm a little worried that I didn't feel the fear, because I do think that's a sign of like, I do think a smart person would and should feel some fear here, and I didn't, so I'm kind of worried. But because again, Tim Pool, to me, it was obvious Tim Pool became scared when this happened based off the stuff he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he'd agree with that though. I think he'd say he's smart or whatever, but I do think there's a portion of it that's scared, which again is reasonable. I do get it, and I'm a little worried that I wasn't as scared. I
That's the key
immediately went
word.
to
I
anger.
think regardless of how you feel in terms of what we say, if you agree with us or not, our words aren't violent. What we say is not violent. What Charlie Kirk has said is not inherently violent, if that's the right thing to say. They're just words. How you take it, that's on you.
Yeah,
And what you do with those words is still entirely on you. If you can't process what's being said or discern what's being said, well, I guess those are the same thing, then I don't think violence is the way you should turn when you disagree with something. Have
they,
the discourse.
they have this belief, and there was this saying a lot with the whole words are violence. You are committing violence towards me with your words. They have that belief. That's just not true.
No,
Because
it's not.
words are just words. Like calls
But the
to
thing is, they
action,
would-
sure, I get that.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you just say I believe this or I think this because of this, there's no violence there, even if you don't like what is being said. And right now we're seeing the left right now is just going absolutely. I don't know if they're
Berserk.
redeemable. I want to think they are, but some of like they're literally dancing on his
Yeah.
grave. That's insane to me. This guy he was not a bad person. There's no way.
No.
We can have a debate on what a good man is and if he was a good man, if you want, all like sure, fine.
Sure.
But it's insane to me. Like he was not a bad person.
Right.
And even a bad person dancing on his grave in the gleeful way that they're doing it, I still think is some sort of you are mentally unwell. Like
I agree.
Even when a
Yes.
bad person gets killed, you should be solemn and just be like, all right, we did
This was-
we did what
yeah,
was necessary
yeah.
and then move on. You don't
Exactly.
dance on the guy's grave. Like, that's
Exactly.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can already hear the arguments of Hitler and whoever else you want to throw in there.
Again,
Right?
even Hitler, I'm just like, okay, we did what was necessary. We took a man's life. He was a bad, evil person. But
Yes.
to just dance gleefully on his grave. I don't know, man. There's just something there.
Taking a life, at least from a Christian's perspective, my perspective at least, it's not a good thing. It's not our judgment. It's not our call. But just taking a life, now you take that away and you just take a life in general. That's like the absolute most horrible thing you can do as a human being
It should
to
be.
another human being, right?
Well, even if you're not
And
religious,
to dance
that's
and
what,
celebrate it.
'cause
No,
a-
that's what I'm saying. You take that away.
a lot of these people would say they're not Christian. I'm not Christian. I'm agnostic or atheist. I haven't decided yet. I value life a lot because this is all there is. This is the
Exactly.
worst punishment is, well, not the worst, but one of the
is
worst
removing it.
is being killed. Yes.
Yeah, it's removing the life of an individual. And the fact that they're celebrating this, they're so gleeful, they find joy to some
Yeah, it's
extent,
just-
leads me to believe they are deranged, right? Like, short of being just pure evil, like they actually have a mental condition. And I feel sorry for them. I genuinely do. If they can't figure this out, that they actually result to being happy, laughing, and calling for joy on this. It's just not right.
I've seen.
And I can only feel sorry for these people because they're that far lost. That's it, right? Either they're mentally deranged or they're that far lost and brainwashed. The left, I would argue, has actually called violence. They've gone as far, their rhetoric has gone as far as calling for Nazism and fascism.
well, they're
and
calling
racism
for
and all of
who's
that.
next after Charlie.
And there's that too, right? Where I have yet to call anybody, see anybody in the right do that, right? What I have seen the right do, and there is, it's like you've started something, like you don't know what you have done. We're
Right.
coming. I've heard stuff like that, but like, what could that mean? That could mean anything. And as I'm seeing it right now, the right is being very peaceful about this and very, very tolerant of what has just happened, right? And I would say this is being very tolerant, despite we see that there a lot more people are
I don't know.
rallying.
I don't know if I agree with that. I do think some people on the right are veering into the a little bit unreasonable. You kind of.
I haven't seen anything very unreasonable happen on the right yet.
I've seen a couple of things. I do think largely though the left is more of the problem, but anyways, we do because there's a lot of people using Charlie's past arguments to justify his literal killing. We
Out
will.
of context, but yes.
I do want to make a video expanding more on that topic, so we're gonna leave it for that for another day. But so instead of responding more to the leftists and giving it more time here, we instead wanted to show what our favorite moments from Charlie Kirk was.
Yes.
Immediately when I thought about this, I know it's like very what you call it, It's very cliche, like, oh, what was your favorite moment with this guy? But I don't know, man. It
But why
helped, and that's
not?
where
Why
my
not? It
mind
seems
went to.
appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, it requires some context, right? Because it's not showing Charlie in a good light, but it's just what he did next that's a good light. But you do need to see this first video to get that context. So here it is.
Sure, I'll reveal it willingly.
You brought it up in context. I'm asking, why don't you live like a socialist?
Okay.
Go live like a socialist.
The point is larger. The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day,
Hey,
Cenk.
guys.
I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live when I believe.
I think it's the
What
first
do
time
I
I've ever
do?
seen him
I get
do that.
dirty every single year.
Hold on.
What's my salary?
Charlie.
Less than his.
Charlie, take
Come on,
a seat.
Cenk, let's go.
Charlie,
What
take
are you doing? Sit.
take a seat. Take a seat.
Psycho.
All right, no. Take a seat. You're going to take a seat.
So I thought it was great. I thought it was a great moment. It was hilarious. Charlie just kind of, I don't know what that means, but I live like a capitalist every day. So we're not making fun of him because this is the follow-up. This is what I thought was important to highlight of Charlie.
There's a purpose for this.
So Charlie and Cenk had this rivalry. I really don't know what it was. I didn't look much into it. I wasn't into politics that much. I wasn't into their politics that much back then. So I didn't know much about Charlie. A couple of years later, I would say, they sat down and did an interview together, and it was a long interview. It was 30 minutes. I do think it's a good watch too, because you see where there's a lot of agreement between the left and the right, more than people actually think. People on the left have no idea how much they agree with people on the right. It's insane. But
The sensible left.
even the radicals, dude, like they're misguided, misguided and brainwashed.
Yeah.
Again, to put it, if I'm being charitable, I think that's how I would label them. Anyways,
Okay.
so then they sit down to do this interview, and this is the last question Cenk asks Charlie.
Last super quick question. Do you still live like a capitalist every day?
I watched back that video. It's so cringe. And it's like, we can all grow and, become better people. And yeah, I don't even know what that means.
I didn't either. That's why I wanted to ask. All right. Thank you for joining us, Charlie.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
All right. From Turning Point USA. We'll be right back.
That's who Charlie
That's
was,
good.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was flawed. He made mistakes. Every now and then he said things maybe like, maybe a little, you shouldn't have said that. But it wasn't to the point that these leftists are doing it. It's insane.
They're just not giving him that grace. They're not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just gonna say that grace. Like, I don't even think you need to give him the benefit of the doubt. Just listen to what he has to say.
No, I agree. So that's who I was. And then he also, when South Park made, did you ever see that story?
Yeah.
South Park paid that.
I did.
He took that in stride. He loved it.
Such good faith. He laughed at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people said like, oh no, it got to him and he just pretended to like it because he knew that's the way to like go away with it. You can choose to see it however you want. Either way,
The response matters.
he
and his
handled it
response was
well.
Good. Yes. Exactly.
Okay, and here's my again, they're tied for first place. These two are all of these are my favorite moments of Charlie, but this is the next one.
Who are you?
My name is Charlie Kirk, and I love America.
Why are you here?
Because I love talking with people I disagree with.
What have you done for your country?
Started an organization that's now on 1,000+ campuses to save the greatest culture and country ever to exist.
What's with the cameras? Is it necessary?
Well, considering I've been assaulted, followed, stalked, and had things thrown at me, the greatest protection I have is cameras. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity. Marriages break apart when you stop talking, churches fall apart, and I think what makes this country on the verge of going to a place we don't want it to go right now is we're afraid to go to places like this and have these conversations. I'm not.
Ah, man, that's just
He embodied that for sure.
that hits so hard now that he's like that hurts more now that he's gone though.
Yeah.
But
It does.
he fully did embody that. He just was conversing and articulating his ideas and challenging them constantly and
Right.
encouraging others to do the same. Like that's
Exactly.
that is who he was.
And so with that, it has encouraged us to do things moving forward, right? Better things for ourselves. We're inspired to be better,
So we did some introspection and we've done a lot of talking back and forth with Terrence and I. It's only been a couple of days, so maybe it's a little bit unfair of me, but I do see people on the right now. They're saying, "Oh, we're gonna be better. It's better than ever. It's gonna be bigger. His voice is gonna be this," but there's no concrete call to action yet. Like they haven't said how they're gonna do it, and that really has been bugging me because it's just vague words. They don't mean anything other than to move emotion. And again, it's only been a couple of days, so I might be being unfair, but I don't want to be like that. So here are 3 concrete things that we have identified that we will be doing moving forward because of Charlie Kirk's passing. And just to reiterate, it's only been a couple of days, so I might be being unfair to the right. I'm just so mad and angry and like, I want to do something that I'm frustrated that they haven't called anything to action. And again, it might be unfair on my part, but it's just my anger coming out.
Well, no, I do like a clear, concise plan. So
here are 3 things that we identified that we're going to do so that we make sure Charlie did not die in vain.
First, we will not be afraid to speak our minds.
Yeah.
Just that, straightforward. No, not a whole lot there. But we want to make sure what we're saying is true to our core beliefs.
Yeah. And again,
not antagonizing.
This is hard, so we're going to try our best to do this. But sometimes there are things that you and I will talk about, and we'll have a discussion of, I don't want to do this because it might get some backlash. And then the other one thankfully pushes back and says, no, you're letting them win. And then we end up doing it. Right?
Right.
But the fact that either of us have those thoughts does bug both of us, honestly, because again, we both do it.
Look, what we say is not with the intent of being provoking, but we understand that some things we say will provoke.
Yep.
Like some people just won't agree with their ideas, and that's kind of the whole point of the discussion.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Well, the point of the discussion is to see which idea is the best. That's why we want to do all of this, which actually kind of leads us into our second point. So the second point is, or the second action item, if you will, is going to be, we are going to work on being able to better articulate our ideas. We've been talking about this for a while and we just haven't done it yet.
Right. So essentially, Daydreamer and I have been talking about wanting to debate each other in order for us to get better at explaining ourselves or being able to at least concisely express our thoughts and our ideas. Right. We understand that we have these beliefs and sometimes we may have just kind of been indoctrinated into them.
Sure.
But as long as we understand these beliefs and can clearly explain those beliefs to somebody else
and defend them,
that's what we're looking for, and defend them. Exactly.
When they're actually held to scrutiny.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, that opens up the possibility of maybe our ideas being wrong, or us being wrong in understanding these ideas, though the idea may not be wrong. I know we're kind of getting into the details, but we have a tendency to kind of want to stray away from, and as a collective, not just us two, us as a society, have a tendency to not want to clearly understand why we believe certain things, which then scares us from wanting to have this communication. And if I may make a connection, I do think that's a lot of the left.
No,
right?
I agree, but we want to be better, and you might see certain segments. We also thought about doing it as like a segment of our show where I will play the leftist, Satirius will play someone on the right, and we will debate a certain point and we will see who wins.
And maybe we may get invited to events to have civil conversation or discussions, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great segue into our last item, right?
Third,
we're gonna go and check out some. We're gonna go and check out some cool events.
Yeah, actually, so I have a little backstory to this. So, 2 days before Charlie Kirk was shot, Megyn Kelly had posted on her show that she was going to go on tour. She was going to do 10 live shows.
I have to comment on that's such a weird thing to hear. Charlie Kirk got shot. That felt weird. Anyway, sorry. I
said was shot. I felt like that was better than got shot. But yes,
I
also hate saying
it. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Anyways, 2 days before it happened, Megyn Kelly announced, 2 or 3 days before it happened, Megyn Kelly announced on her show that she was going to go live. She was going to do 10 shows live in different cities across the U.S. You had to sign up on her website and she would send you an email. So I signed up. I was going to check it out. I didn't think much of it. I wasn't really thinking about attending it, but I was wondering what shows and where she was going to be at. And I saw that there were 2 shows near us. One of them, the guest was Charlie Kirk, and the other one, the guest was Jillian Michaels. Mm-hmm. And so literally the day before Charlie Kirk was shot, I had chosen Charlie Kirk, and I was like, I think if we go, I want to tell Satirius about this, see what he thinks. I think if we go to one, I want to go to Charlie Kirk's because I do like the fact, I like Jillian Michaels too, don't get me wrong, but Charlie Kirk, I see him as something that I want to be. He debates. He's, in order to debate, you need to be smart, you need to be logical, you need to have your facts and your logic all in order and be able to articulate that well. He can do that. I respect that. I want to go see him. Mm-hmm. And then the next day he gets shot and killed. And then I knew, I was like, no, now I have to go to that event for some reason. I don't know. He's not even going to be there. It wasn't even his event. but for some reason now I have to go to that event. So we're going to that one on Man Kelly. And the second one, when Erica Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk's wife, gave that talk, she did have an action item of like, you know, come to America Fest. I think she said something about along the lines about she mentioned America Fest, I think.
Yeah, she did. She did. Yeah. She encouraged everybody to sign up and go.
So I was like, finally, an action item. I'm angry. Okay, let's hopefully
Yes, let's
Satirius
go.
wants to go so we can go. And then Satirius was fully on board, so now we're going. So that's the third item. We're gonna check out these events. I don't know if we'll keep going to them. We're gonna check them out. I am not fully a Republican. I used to be a Democrat. I largely identify as an independent right now. The Democrats are crazy. They're just crazy. And then, but Satirius is Republican, so he, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, I'm just not a big fan of crowds, but
I hate crowds.
so
I
like,
freaking hate crowds
so
too.
large events, I generally do avoid them. But in this case, I am a little bit inspired. I am motivated. I want to go to these events. Like,
I'm
as soon
angry.
as you asked, it was post happening of the event, and you posed the question. I was like, yes, 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 like to all of the events,
Right.
and more so because I don't think I would have, if you had asked prior, I would have been like, maybe if you really want to go, I'm down to go, right?
Mhm.
But now it's like, yes, I want to go because I do think it's largely because of the event, unfortunately.
Well, something's different here, and
Something's
this is
different
an
here, and I
action
do think
item. We want action items.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the third thing
Exactly.
we're going to do. So just to summarize, we're going to speak our minds. We're going to work on better articulating our ideas, and we're going to check out some events. Those are the three things we will be doing because of Charlie Kirk.
At minimum. Doesn't mean we can certainly grow, but as of right now, we at least have these 3 items we've identified for ourselves.
Yeah. So we'd like to end on this final message. When we started this channel, we embarked on a mission that is very similar to what Charlie Kirk did. Obviously, he did it much better, and we could only hope and dream to achieve half of what he's done, the impact that he's made. We are a tiny channel, and we might be that way forever. But Charlie's unjustified passing has reinvigorated us to be better in our personal lives and also in the 3 things that we stated earlier.
And we like to think that would make Charlie smile.
Yeah.